It's youth on the go. Youth on the go. Whoa. Let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Whoa. Let's start the show. Whoa. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I will learn new things. I will be creative. Grab your gears, let's gather around. An adventure is always waiting. With storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Whoa. Let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Whoa. Let's start the show. Whoa. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Good morning, good morning, good morning to all of our radio listeners and, of course, our viewers via One Radio's Facebook Live and YouTube channel. We're up, we're rolling, we're ready to go. Welcome to another edition of Youth on the Go. I am Zanella Claxton, alongside my co-host,
DeAndre Daniel.
And this morning, DeAndre, I think this week was an exciting week. I mean, I think every week is an exciting week, of course, because I just stay in that excitement mode. But this week we had a lot of things going on, many triumphs, and of course several activities. And so we're going to explore some of those this morning as well, so that the people out there in Radioland and of course in our viewerland, Facebook and YouTube, can get a hint of what went on for us during the course of the week, especially in relation to education in our schools and exactly what were some of our triumphs. And so right off the blocks, I want to say congratulations to Team Nevis, the Literary and Debating Society of the Nevis Sixth Form College, traveled to Antigua last week to participate in the 47th annual Literary and Debating the Literary Leeward Island Debating Competition. And of course, Team Nevis was represented very strongly, I might add, by Miss Azelle Williams, Miss Kervincia Webb, Miss Delcia Burke, Miss Dahlia Slack, Mr. Zidane Wilkin, and Mr. Patrice Nesbitt II. And these young people traveled. Most of them have never done a debate, have never publicly debated or competed, and so they did exceedingly well. And I want to commend them for their hard work. But we know that there is so much more behind any competition. And so I just want to also take the time out to commend all of those persons who assisted or who worked with the team, who made this victory a reality. As I said, it was no small feat, because usually to take somebody who doesn't have a wealth of experience and take students who don't have a wealth of experience in debating and to get them involved in debate and get them really up to a point where they were able to lead the charge and win the competition, it's a great feat. And so commendations to all of those persons who assisted or who helped the team along the way in some way. I specifically want to say great job to the staff sponsors and the writers and, of course, the supporting teachers and community members, especially those who traveled with the team as well. So on night one, the moot was around the CCJ, the Caribbean Court of Justice, and we would know that a few of the islands, have already done a vote as to whether they want for us to continue taking our cases to the Privy Council as the highest court, which would decide on the outcome of our biggest cases, our final stop in the legal system. And I know the most recent one was Antigua, and the Antiguans voted against the Caribbean Court of Justice, and thus their vote is for us to remain with the Privy Council as our final court of appeal. And so the theme, the mood for that night was the lack of trust in our own people is the main reason why the majority of CARICOM states are yet to adopt the Caribbean Court of Justice as their final court of appeal. And so, and I know that many of you, if you missed the debates, it would be of great value for you to go back and take a look at them, because the information shared was very informative, and it would help even to guide us in our process of thinking through the value of the CCJ as our final court of appeal. And so that was on Saturday night. Being the winners from the previous year, the team only had to compete in 2 debates. The other teams the other teams did 3. So the winning team had to prepare for 2 debates, and we emerged victorious on that night and went into the following night, where the topic was an extremely controversial one and somewhat taboo. As a society, we don't generally want to talk about certain things, and we don't, but talking about them doesn't mean that we're promoting these activities. And so the mood for that night was, Caribbean countries have not done enough to afford the LGBTQ community the same legal rights and protections as other citizens. Caribbean countries have not done enough to afford the LGBTQ community the same legal rights and protections as other citizens. And of course, I want to reiterate, year after year, persons question, why are the debaters talking about this? The purpose of debate is to explore and research, learn and grow in relation to current issues. And although, as I said, some issues are taboo, such as this one, and we prefer not to talk about them, the reality is that they exist. And the students had to propose the moot, and so they had to agree with it. And, I just want to reiterate, I know most of us and all of us are aware, but I want to reiterate that in proposing the moot doesn't mean that that's the students' stance. They were just going along with the side which they picked out of the bag. And so the students did well, and I want to commend, in the first night we had Miss Dahlia Slack as lead, and we had Mr. Zidane Wilkin, student of the Charlestown Secondary School. He was the second speaker. Both of them did remarkably well. I was thoroughly impressed by their performance. And then on the second night, we had Miss Carvincia Webb as lead, our first speaker, and Miss Azelle Williams. She was our second speaker. And I must say commendations to both, and of course the team, but I want to specifically highlight this morning Miss Azelle Williams. She emerged the best speaker for the evening, once again coming out from a place of never debating before. And dedication, hard work, practicing, those are the things that take, raw talent is one thing, but dedication and hard work and putting in the effort, and of course passion, is what drives students to a point where they can become first lead speaker and best speaker at a competition such as this. And I know for those of you who tuned in, once Azelle started, you could not even turn left or right. You were stuck to the screen. She did a few ballads in song during the presentation, and she has a beautiful voice as well. But as I said, commendations to Miss Azelle Williams. Congratulations on being selected as the best speaker for night 2. This is night 2, which was night 4 of the debating competition. Or debate number 4 of the competition, which helped us, or that was the final part of the competition. So Nevis emerged winners, and then on Monday they returned to Nevis, and they were met at the terminal by several of their classmates and schoolmates and family members and teachers and supporters, and we had a very significant ceremony from the Ministry of Education. and the students had an opportunity. It was brief, though, because we were aware that they were tired and they were not up for speeches. It was just a matter of highlighting the fact that they did something that hasn't been done before, Team Nevis. And of course, we know the students over the years have changed because some have graduated out. But I want to say congratulations to this team as well as the previous two teams who ensure that Nevis has seen a three-peat in the debating competition. As someone who has participated in the past in the competition, I know that it has always been said that teams win according to the island on which they're on, because that became the trend over the years. But that mold has been broken, and that we can now label that a misconception, because consistently for 3 years, Team Nevis has won the debating competitions. Congratulations. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back.
Sugar City St. Kitts, keep it sweet. Keep listening to Vaughn.
It's time, come on, rise and shine. You know, I know we're gonna have a great time. An hour passes quickly, you don't wanna miss it. So turn up the radio, it's youth on the go. Youth on the go. Oh, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Oh, let's start the show. Let's go. I will learn new things. I will be creative. Grab your gears, let's gather around. An adventure is always waiting. There's storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Oh, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Oh, let's start the show. Oh, let's go.
Let's go. Good morning to all of our radio listeners, our viewers via Vaughn Radio's Facebook Live and YouTube channels. And we want to, of course, bring you not just the sunshine, DeAndre, we're bringing
The whole sun.
the entire sun. I am Zanella Claxton from the Department of Education, alongside my co-host,
DeAndre Daniel.
DeAndre, and we were just doing updates. Of course, a big one. We had to take some time out, and we're going to see if at some point we can get some members of the team to come and share with us their experience and, of course, how it went for them. I know that they're going to be in total focus and study mode for the next couple of weeks, but we want to probably give them the opportunity to come in and share with all of you what the experience was like preparing as well as presenting at the 2019 47th edition of the Leeward Islands Debating Competition. In addition to debates last week, we also had a very active week of sports meets. We had sports meets on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And so, of course, it was active. It was an active time for us. And we want to commend all of the schools for executing their meets, for ensuring that the students and the community enjoyed the experience. And kudos to all of the outstanding athletes who would have exemplified that good sportsmanship and as once again the result of hard work and dedication. We also want to commend the athletes who participated. I know one student, when I spoke with her, I asked her, well, how did you do? And she said, I participated. And with a big smile, it wasn't like and that's exactly the spirit that we want epitomized. That's what we want to see. We want for all students to understand that participating and being part of the process is even bigger than the competition. Yes, I know everybody loves the competition, but bigger than that is the fact that you were able to go out there and be a part of it, and it shows school spirit and it shows buy-in and all of those things that we're trying to get through the Effective Schools framework and the child-friendly schools, just allowing a space where even if it just means that you're part of the process, that's enough. And so when she said I participated, that just made me smile. I left with a big grin on my face. And so last week, as I said, we would have seen St. James Primary, and then we had VNJ's Preschool and St. Thomas's Primary so St. James Primary was on Tuesday, St. Thomas's and VNJ's, that was on Wednesday. On Thursday, we had Joycelyn Library Primary and Nevis Academy. And then on Friday, we had Maud Cross Prep and Gingerland Pre. Tomorrow afternoon, we will see the Charlestown Secondary School. And then we will have Naomi's Daycare and Preschool. Naomi's Daycare and Preschool will have theirs on the 14th. On the 15th, we'll have Combermere Preschool. 22nd, 15th, Combermere Preschool and Montessori Academy. The 22nd, Ines France Preschool. And then on the 25th, we have Vernon Luke Preschool. 29th, we have the Charlestown Preschool. So the primary school sports meets are over. After tomorrow, the secondary school sports meets will be over. And then we'll just have the preschool sports meets continuing after that. We also want to highlight the fact that the 16th and 17th of March, that is next weekend, we have the Nevis High School Championships, and that is sponsored by the Bank of Nevis. And for those of you who were there last year, the energy and the passion that we saw at the ETW Park over that weekend, I was filled with a sense of pride. And this year, I know that we're going to carry that energy and passion over to the Nevis Athletic Stadium, Mondo Track. And so next Saturday, March 16th, and Sunday, March 17th, we'll have the Nevis High School Championship, the Bank of Nevis High School Championship. Bank of Nevis would have copped the title sponsorship, and it starts at 1 p.m. each day. Admission, children $10 and adults $20. And of course, the participating schools, all of our high schools, all three of our high schools here on Nevis will be participating. We have Gingerland Secondary, Nevis International Secondary, and Charlestown Secondary. And it is just an opportunity for the students to showcase their talents, to get an increased exposure, and for us to continue to rally around our high schoolers just as much as we rally around our primary schoolers for the Inter-Primary Championship. So we want to see you there at the Nevis High School.
Okay, just a slight correction, Zanella. Just got a call from the head of the Combermere Preschool, and the sports is on the 14th and not the 15th of March.
I might have misread. I'm sorry.
So it's on the 14th of March.
I'm sorry, Teacher Marigold.
The Thursday and not the 15th.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So thank you very much, Teacher Marigold. So on the 15th of March, I was running on the calendar and I must have missed. Yeah, I think that's what happened. So the 15th of March, we'll have the Combermere Preschool. The 14th of March and not the 15th. So the correction, the 14th of March, we'll have the Combermere Preschool. So make sure that you go on out and support the staff and students at the Combermere Preschool on March 14th for their preschool sports meet. And of course, we encourage the preschoolers to have activities that stimulate hand-eye coordination, that promotes teamwork, and we try as much as possible to take out as much of that competition element of it.
And then Naomi's Nursery and Preschool, that's on the 13th. That's the one you have?
Let me make sure.
That would be on the 13th of March.
Yes, I think that's what I said.
Okay.
All right. So maybe I should go over that since I made that slight error with the sports meets. So Naomi's Daycare and Preschool, March 13th. Combermere Preschool, March 14th. Montessori Academy, March 15th. And then we have Ines France on the 22nd, and Vernon Lou on the 25th, and Charlestown Pre on the 29th. And we were at March 16th and 17th, which is next weekend, where we'll have the Bank of Nevis High School Championship. And as I was saying, we will see some of our athletes, and we talk about a lot, we're all hyped about Interprimary. Everybody's waiting for April 3rd. But before April 3rd, we have March 16th and 17th, and we want for all of you to go out and support the students as they participate in the Bank of Nevis High School Championship. We also want to take this opportunity to applaud the Bank of Nevis, a local institution, of course, the name itself, the name speaks for itself. It's the bank for us here as Division. We can hold it as something that is our own. And I want to say thank you to the Bank of Nevis, because it's always difficult for local banks and small banks in the grand scheme of things to sponsor such great events. And Bank of Nevis has put in a significant amount of money into the the Bank of Nevis High School Championship, and the Bank of Nevis really has been doing that throughout, the various areas in education. We've seen the same level of support at the Tourism Youth Congress. We've seen the same level of support in several areas. The Bank of Nevis really supports us at education and supports our schools, and so we want to say congratulations and thank you to the Bank of Nevis for seeing the vision and for supporting the Nevis High School Championship, now title sponsored and renamed the Bank of Nevis High School Championship. And so next weekend, we know where we're supposed to be. Make sure that we go out and support the secondary students, because after secondary school, our next step is college or the professional competition. And so this is the final training ground for them to be able to, for example, make the Carifta team and find their way on the world map, hopefully secure some scholarships, and this is where they need your support most. Although I know we all get very, very hyped about the Interprimary Championship, so and I'll speak a bit more about that when I get to April 3rd, but I want for us to go out and support the high schoolers. Last year, they stopped by the studio, and when they came in, they told us that how important it was for them to see their parents and their family members in the crowd and to get a big crowd, because it makes them feel encouraged. And I know we often say, when they get to that age, they don't run anymore, they get lazy, but there are some who are committed, and we want to honor and applaud that commitment. And so do all of your chores early in the morning on Saturday so that you can do everything you need to, so that you can take a stop by the Nevis Athletic Stadium, and for a small, tiny fee of $10 for children, $20 for adults, you get admitted to the Bank of Nevis High School Championship on Saturday, and then you go to church, and after church on Sunday, you head on over, have your relaxation and rest, and you can head on over for the part 2 of the meet. Once again, $10 for children, $20 for adults. And your support will be greatly appreciated. And as I said, it's something that is greatly valued by the students, because they look forward to seeing you. And it helps them to prepare for the Inter-High School Championship, which takes place in St. Kitts. And that would be coming up right after. And then on April 3rd, we have the Gulf Insurance Interprimary Championship. And of course, Gulf Insurance is a title sponsor for that meet. And everybody, I don't think I need to sell that the inter-primary championship. But I do need to sell the fact that your presence in the place is better than your presence at home. And I know that we provide live coverage, but the live coverage caters for those persons who cannot physically make it to the track. And so the students want to feel your presence, they want to feel your warmth, they want to hear your voices. When you cheer from home and you're cheering at a TV screen, it doesn't help them. It doesn't create that electric atmosphere that we know is synonymous with the Gulf Insurance Inter-Primary Championship. So cheering at home does not get the same feel that the students get knowing that you're present and that you're supporting them. And so make sure that you make it a date and you get yourself in order to head on over to the Nevis Athletic Stadium once again on April 3rd for the 2019 edition of the Gulf Insurance Inter-Primary Championship. The students are, they're pretty much prepared because they would have been preparing for their local school sports, and they will continue their preparations. And so we just want to encourage you to go on out and support them. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back.
When VON vibrates, the whole Caribbean must shake.
8:60 a.m. The Powerhouse.
It's time, come on, rise and shine. You know, I know we're gonna have a great time. And now we're past it quickly, you don't wanna miss it. So turn up the radio, it's Youth on the Go. Youth on the Go. Oh, let's start the show. Oh, Youth on the Go. Oh, let's start the show. Let's go. I will learn new things. I will be creative. Grab your gears, let's gather around. An adventure is always waiting. There's storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Let's go.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Good morning, good morning, good morning to all of our radio listeners, our viewers via Vaughn Radio's Facebook Live and YouTube channels. Welcome to another edition of Youth on the Go here on Vaughn Radio. I am Zanella Claxton from the Department of Education, and alongside my co-host,
John Jadaniel.
John Jadaniel. Okay, and we have in the studio, at the bottom of the hour, we turn it over to
Melissa Martin.
We sound like superheroes.
That's how you sound, DeAndre Daniel. All right, it's the bottom of the hour. You know what we do at the bottom of the hour. We do a special shout out. Good morning. Happy Saturday. It's 4 hours ahead so it's 9 o'clock, 10, 11. Happy afternoon to Lee Paris Cambridge there in England, her family, her friends, all of her support system over there in England and right here in Nevis. Good morning to all of you. Hi Lee, happy Saturday from all of us here at the Eastern Caribbean Spa House. We know you are doing as well as can be expected, and of course we want to let you know we have you in our prayers. We will keep praying for you, and we will also make sure that we send out our greetings to you as long as we can. All right? So happy Saturday to you, your family, your cute daughters and your handsome son, and of course your mom and dad and your sister right here in Nevis, and all of your friends and loved ones over there in England and here in Nevis. Thank you once again for your contribution here at the Eastern Caribbean Spa House. And of course, we love you, we love you, we love you. From Vanny, from Zanella, from DeAndre, and from yours truly.
All right, and of course, Melissa, it is never the same without. I mean, when Lee comes here, the room is not ever the same because she just brings that high energy and enthusiasm like none other. So, as Melissa said, good afternoon, good afternoon.
Yeah, it's 2:35 there.
It's 2:35. Okay, and so good afternoon to you, Lee, Melissa, and DeAndre. Yesterday, of course, I'm wearing my shirt. It says
I am woman.
Yesterday was International Women's Day, and I know that we also have an International Men's Day. So DeAndre and all the men, young men and boys out there listening, don't worry, there is an International Men's Day. It does exist, but yesterday we had International Women's Day, and I must say that the theme for International Women's Day, well, there was a hashtag, and the hashtag was Balance for Better, and we would have celebrated International Women's Day here in Nevis. Last night there was an awards ceremony and cocktail, and one of the things I wanted to take a few moments out this morning, because as I sat in the activity, the event, I noticed that there is so much value to learning about other person's experiences, and that in educating our students, it's always good to have an example to share with them for them to know, okay, this person would have done whatever the activity is, and that means you can do it too, or you can surpass it. Sometimes we want to tell students, you should do this and you should do that, but they have no reference point. They have no one to look to say, this is possible because this particular person achieved it. And so locally, we had the theme, Think Equal, Build Smart, Innovate for Change. That was the general theme for International Women's Day. And our local theme was empowering women, stimulating change. So we had many young women who were good examples and who were awarded last night. And I want to take a few minutes out right now to say good morning and congratulations to the awardees. And I must say I was thoroughly impressed, but congratulations to Miss Kenesia Brown, Miss Mauricia Claxton, Mrs. Rivka Maycock Harding, Miss Camille Kelly, and as I call the names, you'll start getting an idea of the focus for the awards. Miss Latoya Cindy Liebert, Miss Nicole Liebert, Miss Cavell Mills, Miss Yejide Parry, Miss Heidi Lynn Sutton, Mrs. Jackie Hunkins Taylor, and then all of these women are women under the age of 40 who own their own businesses. And I must say that their profiles were impressive. I thought, it would be good for all of our students and our young boys and girls to hear about the feats of these young women. I said boys and girls, I know that although they would inspire the women, I think they'll also inspire the boys to strive for higher and greater. And I thought it would be good for us to really promote the achievements of our divisions, our local people. I know and we speak about it time and time again, even during Black History Month and Independence Time, yes, we focus on those who were public, but there are many unsung heroes, and we want to make sure that their contributions are not going unnoticed. We had all of these women, as I said, were entrepreneurs under the age of 40. It is, from the outset, it's a big deal to be an entrepreneur because it is risky, it takes effort, it takes hard work, and the days you don't work are the days you don't get paid. But these young women, all under the age of 40, have been making great strides on the island of Nevis and doing very well. And then we had the non-traditional occupations for women, and two women were highlighted in that area, Miss Anelda Maynard and Miss Tamara Napoleon. And I wanted to say, when I heard about, for example, Miss Anelda Maynard, she's involved in electrical engineering, and she also has a little mini farm. And so she's doing a bit of agriculture, engineering, she's lecturing, working in the area of electricity. You have Tamara Napoleon, who's working in the area of construction. And we just want to highlight, as I said, their achievements. We had Kenesia Brown, and we know that she has her retail outlet. We have Marisa Claxton. We know that she makes jewelry, and she also crochets clothes and does fashion designs through that, which is innovative. Remember the theme focused on innovation. That was a big part of it. And then we had Miss Camille Kelly. We know Miss Kelly is an architect, and she has done, we learned that her research for her master's thesis focused on how climate and culture interact, and that was used as a basis for some of our facilities and venues even here on Nevis, which include the ferry terminal and also the cultural village and cultural complex. And then we had Miss Nicole Liebert, and for those who don't know, Nicole makes local soaps and distributes and sells them, all from natural products right here on Nevis. We also have Miss Cavell Mills, and she was one of the first students to take the Fashion and Design Clothing and Textiles CSEC exam. She was in the first cohort, and she's now a clothing and textiles teacher, but also the owner of Ziki's Designs, which focuses on, well, she does clothes for locally, regionally, internationally, but of course she caters to plus-size women a lot as well, which is adding innovation, and it just shows that you can take your talent and your interest and your skill and make it into something else. We also had Miss Yajide Parry, and she makes natural products as well. She's a loctician. I wrote that down. She's a loctician. She twists locks. Loctician. That was my word of the night. That was one I didn't know, and so I added it to my my vocabulary. But also focusing on natural products, drinks, hair products as well. And then we all know Miss Heidelin Sutton. She is a lawyer by profession, and she currently works at the Nevis Financial Services. And then we had Miss Jackie Hunkins Taylor, who's also an attorney at law by profession, but she once again has a large experience pool, and all of these young ladies are making a positive impact on the island of Nevis. And last night I was swelling with pride as I listened to the profiles, and as I said, although I was impressed, I thought more so about the fact that we have so much talent here, we have so many skills, we have a lot of experience here on the island of Nevis. Sometimes we take things for granted, and I think one of the things we have to do is to do a good job of promoting and informing and inspiring our children and our students, because they need to know that these things exist. We want their normal to be that they are aspiring for greater things, that they have something and someone to look forward to. And as we see these ladies walking up and down the streets every day, and we greet them from time to time, and other ladies and other people, men as well, who would have made positive contributions, we cannot overlook the fact that we are to give the continuity and legacy is the most important part of anything that we can do. And if these ladies, they have, as I said, the large experience pool, they can leave a legacy, but it would speak even louder volumes if their experiences can be shared with our students so that they can also be inspired and they can also know that it is possible, for you. For example, Rivka, who studied fashion and design, everybody knows Riff Raff Designs. Very creative. When Rivka comes out with a piece, you have to stop and look because you have that high level of creativity. In fact, she was wearing one of the dresses that she made last night. And so those are the things that we want to promote, that yes, you have a skill, you have a passion, you have something that you care about, something that you love, and you can turn it into a business. And so congratulations to all of the women as well, once again, and congratulations to the Department of Gender Affairs for allowing us to be educated on and informed as it relates to these young ladies and what they have been doing on the island of Nevis. We're going to take a short break and we'll be right back.
From Queen City, Nevis, this is the powerhouse of the Eastern Caribbean, Vaughn Radio.
It's time, come on, rise and shine. You know, I know we're gonna have a great time. And now we're past it quickly, you don't wanna miss it. So turn up the radio, it's youth on the go. Youth on the go. Oh, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Oh, let's start the show. Let's go. I will learn new things. I will be creative. Grab your gears, let's gather around. An adventure is always waiting. There's storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Oh, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Oh, let's start the show. Oh, let's go.
Let's go. Good morning to all of our radio listeners, our viewers via Facebook Live, as well as Vaughn Radio's YouTube channel. Welcome to another edition of Youth on the Go here on Vaughn Radio. I am Zanella Claxon from the Department of Education, and alongside my co-host, DeAndre. And of course, we have Melissa in the studio as well.
I thought we had decided to have
That's where we're going
DeAndre's.
That's where we're going.
Okay, good.
So right now we're going to hear I forgot the name. DeAndre's
Highlight of the week.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Wait.
That's why we're a team. So DeAndre has a highlight. He's going to tell us about an activity, and right after that we're going to discuss another activity that is totally related. DeAndre, what is your highlight of the week?
Could I start off with something? Okay, wait,
The calendar?
Welcome to Georgia's Highlight of the Week. Okay, so my highlight of the week, we had a readathon at school, meaning like we're supposed to read our books and then like see how many minutes we get and then write it down on a paper. Like they gave us this paper too, and they said when you read, track yourself and then write down the amount of minutes on the paper. So that started last week Friday and it ended this week Friday, so that's a whole week. So I read for 365 hours. That's like 6 or 3 hours.
365 minutes.
Yeah. It's either like 3 hours, I think. 3 hours. Yeah.
There's 60 minutes in an hour, and you read for
365 minutes.
So we have to then divide 365 by 60, and you read for 6 hours and a few minutes. Yeah.
That's the first time I did that, you know.
Really, congratulations.
The only reason I did that because Mom said, DeAndre, come, pass your phone. No phone today, pass
Okay,
your phone.
perfect. You see what happens when you don't have your phone?
Yeah, I had nothing to do, and then I went through my bag and I said, oh, I have this to do. So I just took the Diary of the Wimpy Kid book.
Yes.
Those books
Yes.
are the best.
And you know, that just helps you. And tell me about, which one is your favorite?
I don't really have a favorite.
You just love
book.
the-
Yeah, because like you would read the book, and when you start reading it, it's like you can't stop. It's like they put a drug in the books every time you open the
You
book.
know what that means?
What?
It's called creativity and innovation, and that's why you should read.
Because you know when you open now something, right, you see the air like just shining, so like they put those sprinkles in your clothes, the book,
They
something
don't.
go on your face, and you're like, "Whoa, this book!" And it's like
Too excited.
so amazing because you see the pictures, and then when you read it, sometimes there's no pictures, and then you could imagine it in your head, and that's the best part about it. When
Oh,
you imagine it
wow.
in your head, that's the best part
That's
about it.
DeAndre, guess what? Welcome to the world of reading. Imagine, did you hear the enthusiasm with which DeAndre was talking about his highlight for the week, which entailed reading? Most students are like, I have to read. But I think that the secret, DeAndre, is that you found a book that you really like.
Yeah, it's like before I knew I had those books. It's like teacher told me to read for we had to read for 20 minutes at school. So I just got a book, any book, and just sit there watching the book. I didn't even read the book. I just sit there watching the book. And then I went home, and then I have a bookshelf, but I was thinking about that. The only reason I got there because I had my phone, and then my phone slipped off the bed and dropped in the phone. And then I went and I said, "Oh my gosh, I found my old books that you could read." So I start reading them, and then I can't stop.
Question.
There's 4 different types of books in my bag right now.
What?
4. It's
Welcome,
so
welcome, welcome. So the phone isn't as important, although you still use the phone. I mean, yeah, but you get some excitement from
Yeah,
the
whole
book.
6 hours not using the phone and then using the book. That's better.
That's better, yes, because it stimulates your creativity. And I heard you talk about the imagination. You get to picture it in your mind, and that's what reading does. That's what is important when it comes to reading. And what was your class's target?
I think it's about 1,000 something. Yeah, but it's 1,000 minutes. And then we had to get to 9,000 minutes. Like, the prize was if you reach your minute goals, we get to go to the movies. So a minute goal for the movie was like 9,000, something like that. And then we got there. So I'm like, yay, we're going to the movies. So, yeah, I'm reading for nothing now.
Because you just want to read.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is what it's a great place to be. DeAndre, and I want to encourage all students. And because we're talking about reading, the Department of Education, school libraries, of course, we have a school libraries arm at the Department of Education, and we have school librarians. We have librarians in all of the schools. And the following Saturday after the Nevis High School Championship, the 23rd of March, we will have the Blanket Night 2019. Registration forms are already at the schools, so parents, please, please, please take your children out on March 23rd to be part of Blanket Night. We have story time, we have outdoor games, refreshments will be on sale, and the idea behind Blanket Night is that we want families to come out and get that. You see that passion that DeAndre just had talking about reading and his readathon? That's the same passion that we want our children to get as it relates to reading. And so on March 23rd, we will have the Blanket Night starting at 6:30 p.m. at ETW Park. Registration fee, it's $20, and that's for your family to come in to Blanket Night. You'll get a ticket after you've paid the $20, but it's important that we register for activities such as Blanket Night. DeAndre, what are your thoughts on Blanket Night?
Oh my! Okay.
He's excited about reading. Remember.
So, a long time ago, we had I never heard about it, and then my mom said, "Oh, DeAndre, just put on your clothes," and put on a jacket and a long pants. I was going to me on, man. So we went to the park, and I'm like, "Oh, okay." So we went up by the lady. So she gave us a blanket and she gave us a book. So I'm like, "Mom, what are we doing here?" So she didn't tell me to read. So she just spread out the blanket, and then we got our book, and I sit down and start reading the book, and then the lady was reading it, and then she had movies, she had games, she had books, and you know, you're reading and you're relaxing. You're like, okay, just fall asleep right now. You know, fall
Yes.
asleep right now. And then like, I don't know, but like from that one day, I just love it. I
You love
loved it,
Blanket
yeah.
Night. So
But-
DeAndre loves Blanket Night.
Yeah, but only twice you could have gone because the
Didn't have it
second
last
time,
year.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was too old now.
Yes,
Yeah.
but so as we are talking to the students, we want to encourage them. DeAndre, you have to encourage the parents. Tell them how exciting it is, and encourage them to register their children for just $20.
It's like when you go there, it's like I mean, but when you start it, it's so fun. Because like they literally start reading, and they should read books that you never want to you never heard of, and then when she gets deeper in the book, you're like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen to that kid? What's gonna happen? Because like your mind is like suspensed by what she's gonna say, and then when she says it now, you're like, whoa.
Yes, it gets that love and passion for reading. And the idea, DeAndre, is to get families to go out and for families at home as well to start reading, having reading time. You see how you had your readathon and you knew that your target for your class was 1,000 minutes, for example. For your families, it's possible for you to set targets where you say every week our target reading time is 20 minutes a week, which is very limited. Or our target reading time as a family, not as an individual, as a family, we're going to read for 60 minutes a week. You have 7 days, 60 minutes per week. It doesn't mean that you have to do it every day, but have some reading time, whether it be the mom reading to the entire family, the dad reading to the entire family, maybe one of the children reading on one night, and you kind of rotate that reading, but getting that love and passion for reading as part of your home is something that we're trying to promote in the school librarians. I want to say commendations to the school librarians and commendations to the education officer with responsibility for school libraries, Ms. Londa Brown, and as I said, the entire team for bringing to you another edition of Blanket Night, and of course for sharing with you the love and joy and importance of reading and reading as a family. And so on March 23rd, we'll remind you next week, but by next week you should have already signed up for Blanket Night. March 23rd, for $20, you sign up. The forms are at your I know that at the primary schools. Sign up and take your children to do something that does not involve a phone or a tablet, and that promotes family time and together time. And so we want to encourage all of you to sign up so that you can sound just as enthused as DeAndre as he spoke about his Blanket Night experience and reading on a whole. We want all children to have that passion and that joy and that love for reading.
Where else could you get the sign-ups other than the schools?
And we have them at the Department of Education as well on Marion Heights. And so you can stop by and get a sign-up form there as well. And if you have a little cousin, for example, your little cousin, and you want to say maybe she can sit long enough to listen, or if you have a preschool cousin or, anybody along that age, your little sister, it's a family thing, and we want to get the parents and siblings and everybody involved and get everybody out there to listen to their stories for Blanket Night, March 23rd, 6:30 p.m. Tickets are on sale and available after you have registered at the schools as well as the Department of Education, so that we can have the entire ETW field covered with readers and learners and the love and passion for books and reading and learning. And that's very super exciting.
Okay, so come back next time for DeAndre's highlight of the week.
Oh, yes, I killed it. I killed the outro. Sorry, DeAndre. And on that note, it was a wonderful week, a wonderful show with you this morning, and we are wrapping up. We wish you a wonderful week. We ask you to continue to support the schools and their sports meets in the upcoming weeks, and of course, starting tomorrow with CSS, and then the other schools for the duration of the time period. Also, school exams start in about 2 weeks, so please make sure that we are doing that balance thing that we talked about last week. Until next time when we come back to you, we wish you a very pleasant week.
Bye-bye.